Today's episode of the Nateland podcast is brought to you by Delete Me, ZocDoc, Helix, and Viore. Hello, folks, and hey, Bear, as always, Brian Bates, Dusty Slay.
All right.
And filling in today for Nate and Aaron, the great Dustin Nickerson.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Do you think people are disappointed when they turn on the podcast and they hear you doing the intro as opposed to Nate?
Yes.
Every week they go, Nate's not there. Huh?
Yeah.
And if they're watching it, they already see the thumbnail.
Okay.
They're already disappointed.
That's good.
Yeah.
Aaron was going to be here today. I feel like every week I'm teasing he's back next week. He was going to be here. His baby had a doctor's appointment he didn't want to miss as a new dad, which I respect. So I really think he'll be back next week, but who knows? Nate will never be back. Nate's gone. No, Nate will be back. Nate's out there doing great things.
Has he been busy? What's he been up to? What's Nate been up to?
Like he's just doing like entertainment things. Not great things, like he's not doing charity and stuff.
He's not making positive contributions, is what you're saying.
Well, he donated a lot of money to his high school's athletic facility. I don't know if you saw
and
that
didn't
or
he
not.
raise some money for the hurricanes?
I'm not saying, yeah, I'm sure.
No,
he's
I
doing
mean, you're
some
really
good
undermining
stuff.
Nate there.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the way you said it, though, he's out there doing great things.
Well, comics are pretty selfish people.
All right,
and
that's true.
I'm the most selfish.
I've
So
been
if
known
I
to
was
say
doing
that
the
many
things Nate
times.
was doing, I would be saying I was doing great things.
Yeah.
Do you know the Salvation
Me too.
Army's slogan? It's
yeah.
doing the most good.
I saw that this week.
Yeah?
I thought, wow, that's bold.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like it's weird to make charity competitive.
Yeah. The most good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But we're doing the most good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird choice that they were like, no, we need to communicate this. And I like the Salvation Army. I worked for the Salvation Army for a while, but
You did?
yeah, that the rec center I worked at. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
But I always remember thinking that was a pretty bold statement. And also, again, the idea that you're like, I just want to let everyone know no one does as much good as we do. Like we're first place in doing good.
They're like, you doing good? Yeah. Well, we're doing the most good.
Oh, that's nice. The
Yeah.
little good that you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, you're goodwill? Oh, well, we do the most.
It is.
good.
It's like a shot right at goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, they do a good amount of good.
Yeah, they're good, but
We got some Nateland news here.
Great.
This week on the showcase, Nateland Showcase, Mike Goodwin's set came out last Monday.
All
Very
right.
funny. We all know Mike, right?
yeah.
Super, super funny. I
Very
hosted
funny
that
guy.
round. He killed it. This week we have Simon
That guy just
Fraser.
yawned. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. One of the guys just yawned just mid-episode. We've lost him 4 minutes in, man.
3:19
Yeah.
actually.
We didn't
Wow.
hit the 4-minute mark before we got really a comical yawn.
Wow.
Not even, we didn't even really try and hide it. Just,
I didn't even notice that guy
Yeah.
before.
I mean, it was just short of like making the noise too. So I'll try and pep it up. I don't like seeing a yawn.
He's not a fan of the Nateland
Is that
news.
caffeinated tea?
yeah. I'll fall on the
That
sword
better
for
not
this.
be a chamomile.
No, this is a throat coat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like a throat coat.
Yeah. Anyways.
Chamomile really can slow you down. All right,
Yeah.
keep going.
All right, this week on the showcase, Simon Fraser. Adrian and I were here. He killed it. I mean, just blew the roof off, and he's so funny. And I guess that came out actually today, Monday. So check that out. If you're in Nashville, tickets on sale for the last showcase of the season. That will be November 4th at the Lab, the day before the election. Dusty says it might be the last show ever.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
that's
true.
incentive to come, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Get your laughs while you can.
It's November 4th at the Lab, the
Yeah.
last showcase. Another great group of comics. If you're in Nashville, come join us every Monday night for Nateland Live at the Lab. Tickets are on sale, hosted by members of Nateland. I'm hosting tonight. Dustin's going to be on it.
I am on the show tonight, yeah.
John Christ is on it. Stephen Bargatze. It's going to be a hot show. Every week, come out every Monday. Great comics on it.
I like that when we do it like this, we talk about the show that's going to be tonight, but when the podcast comes out, it's 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you missed.
Yeah. This is what you missed, guys.
Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even if it went bad, we made it sound like it was going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
you really missed out.
yeah.
The most fun.
Doing the most fun.
Nateland recorded Stephen Rogers' special over the weekend
Yeah.
in Fort Collins, Colorado. There they are. Get Brian Regan back there in the back. He did a guest set.
Mm.
Uh,
And Peter Wong.
It went great. Shout out to the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins and the owner, David Rodriguez, and
It's
his
a great
staff.
club.
David's the best.
Yeah.
the
that
whole
club's
weekend was awesome.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Stephen did that. My phone rang today. It was Dustin. I got all excited. I
Mhm.
answered, "Hey, buddy." And he's like, "Oh, sorry. I was trying to call Stephen Rogers." So, Stephen got a call from Dustin today. That
You
was
got to
great.
know when you accidentally call someone, you just roll with it. Hey,
No,
I
he
know,
was
but
very
I
honest.
we're
didn't-
going to be at
he was
I
very
Zany's
honest.
today,
but I
right?
didn't want to talk to him.
He did not. Yeah. I mean, when I hung up, it showed the length of the call, 4 seconds.
Wow.
4 seconds.
And I yawned in that 4
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
Oh gosh. No, it was I did what it was. So I talked to you earlier that day, today,
Yep.
and I was calling Steven to talk about the special, and I just did like the Hey Siri call,
hmm
and your name came in. So if anything, my phone heard me say Hey Siri. It's gonna call Steven now. No, if anything, it's a compliment to you that I meant to call Stephen Rogers, but my brain said, no, you want to call Brian.
Mhm.
But then I heard your voice and I changed my mind.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
I took a turn.
I needed to save any stories that we had to say for the podcast. You got to get
That's a
content
good way
out
to
of
put
it.
it.
This is not necessarily Nateland news, but could I give a shout out to a show that's happening?
I can't even finish the Nateland news before you're. doing
Well,
your
I
own
thought
news?
I thought you were getting into some other things. and
Okay.
we were on shows.
Go
Well, this
ahead.
show is a show for a benefit for
Dusty
hurricane
Land news.
hurricane
Mhm.
victims.
Okay.
Of Helene, North Carolina,
Yep.
East Tennessee, Western North Carolina. So it's at the Ryman on Monday, the 21st
Mhm.
at 7 p.m. Leanne Morgan, John Chris, Charlie Behrens, me.
Boom.
It's going to be great.
It's a hot show.
All
Yeah.
proceeds go to Mountain Ways, which support relief and recovery for East Tennessee, Western North Carolina. And I've been told that's a good charity.
Who told you that?
Well, they told me it was properly vetted.
Who's that?
People on my team.
Mm.
Because I don't trust any of these.
Mhm.
I don't trust any of these people out here.
Do you think a hurricane really happened?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very sad for them.
hmm
It's very sad.
All right.
Mhm.
So that's Monday the 21st.
Did the government make the hurricane? That's the
That's what I was
question.
waiting for.
But yeah, it
And I wasn't going to say anything.
But yeah, it happened.
It's not a matter. Oh, man.
Last week I had him and John Chris, so it was 2 against 1 and thoughts like that.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I have no comment on it, but please go to the show at the Ryman.
Yes.
hmm
Either way, they need help.
Nate
I feel uncomfortable right now. I don't.
Nateland is recording Greg Warren's special November 23rd at the Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio. It makes me mad that he's already putting out another special because he's that good.
He's a machine.
He is. Tickets are on sale now, so come on out and join us the 23rd.
That's what protein does. He's eating all that peanut butter, and he's
Yeah.
a writing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Nateland is also recording Mike Vecchione's special here at the Lab, December 28th.
Another comic that put out 2 specials before you put out one.
You made that very specific about me.
Well, you said it about yourself.
I just thought, in general, guys, we all would agree that that's a lot. And you're
Oh,
like,
I mean, Dusty and I
oh.
have been putting out specials, though.
Yeah, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Anyway, we have 2 shows for the special taping night available now. Get them before they're gone. Nateland Podcast Network update. The Consumers with Greg Warren, Tim Convey, and Sean O'Brien drops every Tuesday. Then Nateland every Wednesday with Brian Bates and Dusty Slay, occasionally Nate Bargatze, Aaron Weber.
Bam.
And Don't Make Me Come Back there every Thursday with Melissa Nickerson and her husband Dustin.
Yeah.
All right.
Check it out.
I wonder where the Dump Dusty guy's at right now, though. It's like, if I had not been around, what would be happening this last couple of weeks?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
We'd have made it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
would have made it.
There'd have been a couple of solo Brian episodes.
I would love that.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a solo Brian episode.
Yeah. You think he would thrive, or would it be like Garth and?
Yeah, I was
that
about to
scene
say,
from
like Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
I think Brian would finally get to talk about what he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want to talk about?
Chemtrails.
You can do that with me.
I just said that because we just saw some outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been very clear for weeks.
What's going on today?
Clouds are covered.
Mm-hmm.
Sky's covered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. That's all I'm saying. I don't like it. Beautiful blue sky, and then the airplanes start going over, and there's a checkerboard on the sky, and it's just like, what is that?
I like a good conspiracy theory. I can't go down the road with you on that one, but I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
I find that a lot. People go, I like conspiracies, and then I start naming some, and they go, well, not those, though.
Mine are. This is not what we're here to talk about, but
go ahead. I'd
the
love to
one
hear.
that I will most sign off on that they're because it's been largely proven is sports being fixed.
Oh, yeah.
And largely even not entirely fixed from the top end, but largely influenced and bought off refs and players. I mean, it's been proven. I mean, the World
One
Series
guy.
well, no, first off, the White Sox World Series.
Over 100 years ago.
Does that mean it didn't happen?
Means they're better at it now.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
they were.
Yeah. No, and
The refs are totally
and an
wild.
actual ref went to jail for it. Like, I know you're like, just one guy. Well, tell that to all the players who played for the Kings that year. You
And
know,
like the targeting rule, sometimes it's like you go, oh, that wasn't really targeting, and then that guy gets ejected.
Yeah.
And then the next time they like take the guy's head off, and they go, they don't even call it.
And I just think now with like so much money being in sports, like so much gambling, you're like, I mean, there's no way, right?
DraftKings.
I agree with you.
I'm just bitter about
It's
a Super
ruined
Bowl loss.
football for me.
Really?
Yeah, I like it, but I'm like, I'll be watching a game and I'm like, oh, this is really great. And then like one bad call changes the whole momentum of the game. And then I'm like, oh, this
So you
is
think
Yeah.
Pete Carroll called a bad play because he
No,
was in on
not
it?
that Super Bowl. I'm not mad about that one.
Oh.
The Seahawks lost to the Steelers in, what was that? 07, something like that. 09. I don't remember what year it was.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of bad calls in that game. Like 3 or 4. And I think our tight end might have been paid off to drop a pass on the one. I don't know about that one, but I like to think about it.
I was drinking a lot in 06. I don't remember. But,
That is funny that everyone says, you're like, I like conspiracy theories. I don't believe them.
Yeah.
I would never.
oh,
you know.
yeah. Well, that's what I say too. I don't believe them. I just
Yeah.
like to talk about
They're
them.
fun to think about.
Mhm.
I think I don't know if there's any, like, I just feel like the easiest answer is probably the correct one.
Oh. Wow.
I was trying to think of, like, JFK assassination. Wouldn't it be a conspiracy theory? Because over half of America thinks it's not what they say it is. So wouldn't it, if you think it did happen that way, wouldn't that make you a conspiracy theorist?
Man, I thought we were going to talk about the difference between the South and the West Coast this episode. We really are diving into it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're just getting
People
started.
Yeah,
lo-
we're just getting
listen,
into it. I like
everyone
it.
loves to pin it on me that I'm the conspiracy guy, but Brian loves it. Secretly, Brian loves
I
it.
love bringing it up. You're
Yeah.
right about
Yeah.
He
that.
loves
Yeah.
I love to get Dusty going. That's for
it.
sure.
He loves it.
That is for sure.
According to one of the X-Men movies, it was Magneto. So don't rule that out.
Magneto did what?
He was
Cuban Missile Crisis?
He moved the bullet curved, and that's what got.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And
But
then
he was- but he-
they killed JFK's brother. I feel like people often leave that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And JFK's brother's wife just died. And I had nothing to do with it because I didn't mention her.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we should name some people. Just to
Ethel Kennedy, she was 96.
Hey, she's old though.
Well, I get accused for everybody else that's 112 when they die. So I would have mentioned her, by the way, if I'd have known she was still alive, because that does seem like such a bygone era.
Mm-hmm.
A Kennedy, like Robert F. Kennedy's mom
Right.
was still alive. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
All right. Let's talk about where we were this weekend.
Okay.
I'll go first.
All right.
Mine's probably the quickest, Dusty.
Nah.
Friday night.
I want you to get into it. Really elaborate.
All right, I will. Friday night, I was at the beautiful Fisher Center, Performing Arts Center at Belmont University here in Nashville with Jeff Allen, Stephen Bargatze, and Patricia Heaton.
That looked like a fun show.
Whoa.
It was a fun show.
I did not expect that last name to come
I know,
out there.
I
yeah.
know. She and I did a little skit together. That was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Were
didn't
you
go great.
Were you Raymond? Did you guys do it?
Well, in my mind, I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking while I was out there.
Yeah.
She did a thing where she pretended like she thought she was introducing Nate Bargatze, and then I have to go out there and whisper to her, it's actually Stephen Bargatze.
Oh, that's
She's
funny.
like, who's Stephen Bargatze? But I brought up the point when we were discussing this backstage before the show. Some people are going to think Nate's really here, and they're going to get excited.
Mhm.
And everybody was like, I don't care. She introduces Nate. She doesn't introduce him. She says, it's an honor to welcome Nate Bargatze. And the crowd gasps. One woman goes, what? And then I walk out and the faces just drop.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why people think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It was still fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I don't even want people, if they intro me at Zany's, to mention that I do the podcast, because I'm afraid. Like if you say one of
they
the
hear
co-hosts
Nateland.
of Nateland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I go the opposite, as you know.
Yeah.
I lean in. I have them introduce me as the star of the Nateland podcast. I like to dig myself in a hole.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there anyway. I might as well go ahead
Yeah.
and start there.
I was thinking that Steven could get out of that hole though, based on what he does.
Oh, yeah.
Like I couldn't. Oh man, a yawn, sneeze, bro. You got to get out of here, man.
you gotta not look. You gotta just look at us, Dustin. You gotta just.
I know. I
You
just
gotta just
maybe,
live in this world right here.
He can't help but sneeze, Dustin.
I know. It's
that's-
just you know.
You're asking too much.
A lot of
Yeah.
chemtrails out there.
Steven being a magician and what he doesn't mean so funny could get out. If someone thought Nate was coming to the stage and I watched the stage, I would bomb. So because you just got to get into your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dad,
Mm-hmm.
not the dad you hoped.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was fun. Then last night I was in Huntsville, Alabama, doing a show for Mayfair Church of Christ. Great time. They sent us some Trash Panda shirts.
Yeah, thank you.
You're wearing one
I'm
there.
probably sweating through it, but
That was for Nate, but it's yours now.
Yeah.
And,
thanks.
Trash Pandas are
I
pretty
renamed my tour on the way
disappointing.
home from Huntsville. It was the Easier to Drive to tour. Now it's the Dustin Nickerson 5 years ago tour.
Oh, okay.
Just a random club, a church,
Yeah,
community.
string them together.
Yeah.
And they had Dustin before.
I'm sure they had. I didn't ask, but it's just kind of a given.
Oh, okay.
Did the Von Braun Center with Taylor Tomlinson, and then he ran over and did a church.
You actually do have my old agent too, so there is a good chance that it was exactly the gig that I did. I hope it went well though.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Where were you this weekend?
I was in Austin. I did Cap City Comedy Club,
All right.
which is really a great club.
Yeah, it's new, huh?
Yeah, because it was an old road room for a long time, and then Helium bought it out, and they built it in the. Have you guys been? Have you been to the Cap City?
Not the new one.
Yeah, it's at the Domain. It's like
Oh, wait. How new is it? I was there last year.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah, it's the mall area.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a little outside of the town, and I have like a lot of middle-aged parent fans,
Yeah.
and they like love a show at a mall.
Oh, yeah.
They like it. It's,
Yeah, get there early, do a little shopping.
Yeah.
Come see the show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just there's good parking. That matters to like adults. And like, do we do Mothership downtown? Who wants to go downtown?
Right.
Such a hassle.
Right.
So yeah, that was really great. And I was also there during Austin City Limits, which as far as selling tickets go was probably not a great idea, but I did catch a couple shows and that was fun. So
Nice.
yeah, I had a great time.
Who'd you see?
I actually had a friend who was performing in it. And so a guy named Dustin Kensrew, who
A
was
lot of Dustins.
a lot of Dustins on it. He's the lead singer of a punk band named Thrice, and he did like a country western album, solo one. It's really good. And so he was performing. So I saw him, and then right after that was a band named Medium Build, who's very good. And then I caught the tail end, and then I went and did my show. But it was like a 6 o'clock show, which I love a 6 o'clock show. It's great.
Yeah.
And then I caught the end of Red Clay Strays, and then I saw Sturgill. So it was a full day.
Big
Nice.
day. That's a big day.
It was a great day. And
It's a big day.
I don't tend to love a music festival, but I did like this one.
People are saying Sturgill's the best. I
Sturgill's
like
great.
his music, but they're like really saying his live shows are really.
It's very like jam band.
Are you talking about Sturgill Simpson?
Yeah.
Does he just go by Sturgill?
Well, him and I text
Oh,
him
okay.
as Sturgill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dustin
Sturgy.
did too.
Stu.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Well, I
Is
don't
there
know
another
any-
Sturgill?
Yeah, I don't know any other Sturgills.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's no.
I mean, in the context of music, I was talking about a music festival in Austin. I feel like Sturgill was self-explanatory, but maybe
Even if
wrong.
I just said I was listening to Sturgill today, I don't think you would think of any
Yeah.
podcast or comedians.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
So I saw Sturgill Simpson, if
Yeah.
that's what you prefer.
I was listening to Elton on the way home.
Elton, see, that
And I
works.
know who you mean.
Yeah. But you wouldn't say Elton, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
I would know who you were talking about, but you wouldn't.
Who would be another Elton?
I would know it
That's my
was Elton
point.
John, but I don't
Right.
know that you would.
I'm into it though.
I think fans of Sturgill Simpson refer to him as Sturgill.
Mm.
That wasn't meant for me to be like a name dropping thing because
I can't
did
even
not mean-
remember Elton's last name now. I've already forgot it.
I think his real name is Reginald, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that one actually. Sturgill Simpson was great live. It's very like Skinner, Allman Brothers, like here's the song and here's a 5-minute solo in every song.
Mhm.
Like I think he did like an hour 10 set, and I don't know that he played 8 songs.
Mhm.
They were long jam
I'm
bandy songs.
into a jam now. I've not always
Yeah.
been, but I am into jam now.
Yeah, I respect it because I like it because I'm like they're doing what they want to do.
I still can't do Fish, but
Yeah.
Grateful Dead I've gotten into. I love it.
You've been a Deadhead. You got into the
Yeah,
Dead
I'm
a bit.
into it now. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I don't know what happened to me, but
That's
I like
a new
it now.
page for somebody.
I feel like the Grateful Dead's a little country, a
Yeah.
little folky, a little country, and then jam.
Yeah, I can see that. Such a unique place in the entertainment world.
Yeah,
Just to be not like a radio band, but to have the best fans. Like name another band where you can tell by the fans who's in town.
yeah.
Like your city. Like I
That's
did
true.
Boston last year, and you're like, oh, the Grateful Dead's in town.
Kiss is another band like that.
Yeah,
when
that's
they're
true,
in
yeah.
town, you know it. Also, I never really been that into the Allman Brothers. I like them. I don't dislike them, but I'm not
Yeah,
crazy about them.
is that you?
Dwayne Allman and Eric Clapton had Derek and the Dominoes. Great album.
Yeah, is that like? I feel like that's almost you being like a little contrarian. Like everyone would expect
Yeah.
you to be
Yeah,
into
I
the
think
Allman
so.
Brothers.
And I like some of their songs, but
Yeah.
I'm just not that into them.
Dustin, you want to tell us about Delete Me?
Yeah, I do. Have you or someone you know been a victim of identity theft? I've seen it, and it can mess up your whole life. That's why privacy online is so important. Your name, contact info, social security number, and home address is all being compiled by data brokers and sold online. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is just a commodity to them. This is how identity theft starts. Nate and Laura have been using Delete Me before they were even a sponsor, and now I do too. I put the now in a different spot than where it was written, and it threw me off. The reason I love it so much is because Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers. So it's never just a one and done service. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Delete Me sends your regular personalized privacy report showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and use promo code Nate at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to join deleteme.com/Nate and enter code Nate at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Nate, code Nate. And I want people to know I didn't read that beforehand. This was straight off the cuff. Picked it up, read it. Someone in the comments last week told me that I should, read it, get familiar with the ad, prepare beforehand if I want to be a good ad reader. But I want you to know, straight off the cuff.
And you did delete that comment? Delete me?
Well, I've stopped commenting so that Brian can use more comments.
I have that comment. I was going to have it in today, but I think they also referenced Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought
Save it,
I'll
yeah.
wait till Aaron's back.
Save
Every once in a while in my Twitter feed, I'll see. This is where I keep track of Dusty, because Dusty and I think this is the third time I've ever seen you in person.
Yeah, probably so.
But I feel like I know you fairly well because
Yeah.
I watch your specials, and we are kind of connected through this, and we text here and there and stuff like that. And but I'll just I see the new algorithm on Twitter likes to show me what Dusty's doing.
Yeah.
And
I've been getting into
he's
it.
doing a
he
lot.
really gets into
Yeah.
Twitter's my new favorite thing, I think. I don't know. I've just gotten into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about
It's
it?
just interactive. It's more interactive.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite too.
It is the one that I open the most.
I
yeah.
like to write jokes. I like to just post
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, you do.
not
good.
do specials.
Yeah, your
but
stuff's
you
good.
more, yeah. Sorry, it's a
I had a
terrible.
dry bar special come out last year,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah, your Twitter's good. I
You
like it.
you actually are very good at Twitter. I would say I also see yours a lot too. Like just jokes alone, very
Mhm.
very strong.
Thank you.
But I see what he's getting into.
Yeah,
I like to
Dustin's
quote, I like to quote tweet people. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
I see Dustin.
Well,
getting
sometimes I
worked out.
tweet something, then I just go on about my day, and then I open it up later, and I go, "What happened?"
Yeah.
People are freaking out.
No, I'll go into Dusty's comments sometimes when I'm bored. His tweets or see what like people are responding and you responding to them.
Yeah.
Dusty has a good time on us. I don't know if you actually have a good
No,
time.
I have
doing
a great time.
Yeah.
I have a great time. I love commenting.
Yeah.
I it took me a long time to get good at it. I used to get emotional with it, but now I'm just having fun. I don't.
Good.
I just sometimes people get mad at me, but I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
hmm Where were you
Yeah.
this weekend?
I did 2 shows. I went to Fayetteville, Arkansas. 2 cities. This is 2 cities that I've been going to for years and years and years, and always done the club. This is the
Yep.
first year I've been
The Grove.
at a theater. Yeah, normally I do the Grove, but now this time I was at the Walton Art Center, downtown Fayetteville, and it was great. Big crowd. I think both shows were basically sold out.
Who are the Waltons?
I don't know, some small family. They started a business. It's done pretty well, I think. It was a great show. And then I did Springfield, Missouri, where I usually do the Blue Room. I did the Gilloy's Theater.
Mhm.
It was great. Really hot shows. Had a great time. Yakov Smirnoff did a set on my
Nice.
show.
How was that?
He did really great. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Should we get in the comments?
Yeah, we should.
Let's do
Dusty,
it.
you going to read?
These were great, though. People were very nice. I love those cities. And it's been
Did you drive from Fayetteville to Springfield?
No. Yes, I did.
How long of a drive is that?
2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, great little drive.
Do you want to read the comments, Dusty?
Yeah, I can. I got 2 other ads, so I'll be reading a lot.
Oh,
this
you mean read
episode.
the comments?
Yeah, you read the comments.
All right. Comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast Reviews, and Nateland at natebargatze.com. Richie Hildebrand.
It's a good name.
Loving the Nateland universe that we are all creating together. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know what Richie's done.
I disagree, Richie. I'm on your side.
I've also
These guys think they're better than their
I've
fans.
also
I
not
know.
done a lot either with it, but
Caught up on the consumers and now catching up on Don't Make Me Come Back There.
okay.
Also catching up on the unsupported Dusty Slaycast and loving
okay.
that too.
All right,
Keep
well,
it
thanks,
coming,
Richie.
folks.
All right, I take it all back. Richie's the best.
Yours just has some language and profanity.
Yeah, not
Yours-
too bad though.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
We gotta have, you're gonna be a little different each
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah, I like a little something in there.
Yeah.
You guys,
Ours has a woman. That's different.
Yeah, that is different.
Well, I was
my,
gonna say-
my wife used to do mine too.
Yeah.
She quit it, but she used to do it.
well, I was about to say Hannah was just taking a break from it, but bottom line is you guys both host podcasts with your wife,
Mhm.
and that's got to be fun, but also stressful.
I actually love it. I don't find it stressful at all, and that's not to be like mean or contrarian to that. I like being creative with her. It's very
Yeah.
fun. I also like when your stand up or like a podcast like this, like when there's like a comic side of you, and then when you're just talking to your partner, your spouse, like your wife, like it's like there's a total different, like what I think's funny, how she makes me laugh.
Right?
And like the whole goal of the podcast is for me to make her laugh.
Yeah.
I'm just spending an hour trying to get her to laugh.
Yeah.
And so I actually really like that. And it's fun. Like I had someone tell me this like years ago. Tim Hawkins, actually, who you guys probably know, people know on this podcast. He told me, he's like, as you get like bigger in your career, sometimes you're gonna have this temptation to like get your spouse less involved and be like, hey, you don't have to do as much as you used to. And he's like, do the opposite, get them more involved. So it remains like us. It's an us thing. And that's been big for Mel and I, because she decorated our studio. She does all the scheduling with her and Andy, our producer. And, it's fun. It's fun to be creative together. So I thought that at first that it would be that way. And it does it sometimes, just as far as like the details go. Yeah. But no, for the most part, I really like it.
I think maybe my wife heard Tim Hawkins say that, and she's like, you know what? That's a good idea. I want to be less involved.
Well, I mean, that the genuine answer is probably whatever they want. Some people want to be more involved and less involved. No,
I have fun too. I what you're saying, I agree with all of that. I do say that we've had a few episodes where about halfway through we start to argue a little bit, and we go, you know what? Let's try this later. Let's just scrap it for now. We'll come back.
You start all over?
What's that?
You start all over? Or
yeah. We start all over.
Yeah, we've had a couple episodes where we had to delay start time. Where like, hey, we are driving to the studio and we are just full fighting. Mm-hmm. Let's take a walk around the little village that we record in here, the downtown La Mesa village. Mm-hmm. Let's go breathe a little and see if we, Andy, just be chill for a while because we gotta.
That's what I was getting at, guys.
Yeah, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
I'd say mine's less rare, but now we have a fun time.
I listened to both of them on the way home last night.
Yeah,
my car ride home, and Dustin's is. I think Nate even pointed this out when you were on here. Rapid fire, fast talking, right off the bat, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's California. It's West Coast.
Yeah. Fast talkers.
Then I listened to Dusty. All right. I mean, it's
just
like
be alone in a room.
Yeah. This hard pace is very challenging for me. What we're doing right here.
This
slower pace.
I could slow it down.
This is the fastest we've ever done.
I know. And I'm like sweating because I'm like, we got to get going, guys. Isn't everyone going to get bored?
I thought we were going too fast.
No, I am. There's been a couple times I'm like.
Well, yeah, he's bored, clearly. You've already pointed it out.
I know. He's on his phone now.
We need to pick up the pace. Pick up the pace.
He'll look over, he's going to be painting.
Just
it's a creative podcast.
Yeah, we do a little slower around here.
It just takes a little getting used to. That's all. It's a different rhythm to settle into.
Yeah, just take it easy,
Yeah.
It's okay.
David John. I've been a fan of Dustin's long before I discovered Nate.
Yeah. Nate.
Dustin was a frequent guest on Tim Hawkins' old podcast Potty Break and spoke very highly of Nate early on. I'm so glad Dustin and Mel are now part of the Nateland Podcast Network.
All right.
That's nice.
Shout out from Elton's cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still thinking about that. Elton John is a household name. Cher. Yeah. I mean, he goes by both names, but Cher, Madonna, whatever. Sturgill is not.
I don't think we choose, how people choose to identify their artist. It's people say Sturgill, man.
When I say Sturgill, I mean, name me all the Sturgills you know.
I've never met another Sturgill. Have you?
That's the only one I know.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the point.
A lot of Simpsons.
Yeah. A lot of Simpsons.
Yeah.
Brian, OJ.
The Simpsons.
Yeah. So many. The greats.
I love that Brian was the first one.
Brian was the first one. Brian's great. I started with Brian. We were open micers together. So he was, he's one of the great Simpsons.
Yeah.
What about Carl Sprinkle?
That's an unbelievable name.
What do you think the first name is?
I don't know. I said Cowie
Sprinkle. Cow Sprinkle.
I'm thinking Kai.
Kai Sprinkle.
Okay.
Kai Sprinkle.
All right.
Guy Sprinkle sounds like a mid-card wrestler. Like Guy Sprinkle.
Yeah. Yeah. Kai Sprinkle. Oh,
Yeah. Or Kai Sprinkle.
Any guy in wrestling is like, that's
mid-card. Yeah. He's not.
Yeah.
They're never putting him over.
Never gonna get it over. Yeah. They were like, we just wanted to call you the guy.
Yeah. You're number 22 in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Or when they do a documentary on some great wrestler, he got his start, in Mid-South Wrestling.
Yes.
It's Kai Sprinkle.
Yeah. Jim Cornette has a great Guy Sprinkle story. Guy Sprinkle.
Yeah.
I gave a speech in front of my church and started it by saying, "All right," just like Dusty. Thanks, Dusty, for helping me with the intro.
It's a good way to start anything off. You just go, all right. What's up, guys?
I have can I tell a funny church speech story?
We'll determine if it's funny.
Okay. Well, did I say funny or did I say good?
I think you said funny.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's funny, but I don't even know if it's good. I certainly don't know if it's the most good, but we'll see. When I was in 8th grade, we were at Sunday youth service. So, you had youth group during the week, and then you had Sunday. There was we called it there was big church where all the adults went, and then there was the youth service. And I was leading a Bible. I was going to go up and lead the little devotional.
8th grade.
8th grade. Okay. So in front of all middle schoolers. And I was supposed to take a verse and get my thoughts on it. And the opening statement I'd written down was I was supposed to say, when I first started. And what I said instead is I merged those words. And the opening thing I said was when I farted.
All right.
And I never got a group of 8th graders back.
I was about to say.
You start with when I farted, and then I tried to go serious. And I was like, guys.
No.
Yeah, you got to roll with it from then on
I was
out.
no, guys, this is serious. I just made it.
They probably still remember that.
They probably do. He's like a comedian now.
Yeah.
The when I farted guy.
Yeah.
Did he do that on purpose? Was that some Andy Kaufman thing?
I may do that now.
When I farted. Oh, guys. I went serious.
That's
you were
great.
going too fast.
I was going too fast. You're
Yeah.
right.
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah,
We all learned something today.
Yeah.
Connie Turbrock. Dusty seems to be getting bored of doing this podcast, and he is very mean to Brian. Thank you, Connie. Finally, someone said it.
Oh, Connie.
That is from
Come
Connie
on,
Bates.
Connie.
Bates said
Come
that.
on, that's your burner account. Yeah. I love Brian. Brian's one of my favorite people in the world. And I'm having a great time. I just, you know what? I do a lot of podcasts. I do 2 podcasts a week myself. I don't, and then people that listen to this podcast always say I say T at the end of every D word. And then they say I interrupt all the time. So, I'm just trying to be chill. Trying to be chill.
Maybe if you talked a little faster, they wouldn't think you were bored.
Maybe
we need to meet in the middle.
Yeah. I'm trying to listen to what people are saying.
Yeah.
And, but Connie thinks I'm mean to you.
Well, I mean,
I'm like the nicest person to you on
I was going to
this
say,
podcast.
I mean, that's kind of the heartbeat of the Nateland podcast is bullying Bates.
I'm the only one nice to Brian on this podcast.
yeah.
That is actually true. No, Dusty's always been great to me. He had me on the hot chicken
I
show
love
that he
Brian.
does. He has
Come
me
on,
on his
Connie.
show. Yeah.
Come on, Connie.
He's taking me on the road with him.
That's great.
I'll start being mean to you, Connie.
Do you think that's an I or an L? L3? I3?
I think it's.
Does it really matter?
I think they're trying to say
No.
Bender.
I3, and that's a username. That's not a real name.
That is a username. I3
That's a Roblox
Ender
name.
15. Does Brian know that the F in NFL football? Oh, I just did it right there. That's so funny. Does Brian know that the F in NFL stands for football and that he doesn't always need to say NFL football?
That's very funny that you did that.
Yeah, I can't deny it now, can I?
I support it now.
That is very funny. It's like when people.
That's like your Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to say the whole thing.
People often will say around here, the SEC conference.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically saying the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a bit redundant, isn't it?
So I'm saying National Football League football.
Yeah.
But it is clarifying because if you say football, I mean, I guess you could just say the NFL. But
Maybe you could be talking about the NFL Network.
that's
There you
true.
go.
So you want people to know for sure I'm talking about the actual football.
Give me an example of how you use NFL football. Like I was watching NFL football on Sunday, or how does it flow?
I don't know. I'd often do a DraftKings ad read. We don't have one today, but I probably say it on there. And I'd say, Dusty, are you a college football fan or NFL football fan? Or I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to get L3 Ender 15 to. Right. Although, since I did it in the ad read, it kind of proves the point that I do say that. So Anyway, Oscar Sherritt?
I think
Share it.
I'm going share it.
Let's share it.
Yeah, you need to share it.
My family recently got a new robot vacuum cleaner. We were trying to decide what to name it, and I suggested Dusty Slayer in honor of Dusty Slay. Now, every time we want something vacuumed, we'll say, start Dusty.
Well, I don't support you getting a robot.
I knew that was going to be your.
but-
I knew it before you said it.
Well, he said "geez" while I was reading it.
But if you-
Giveaway.
No, I didn't even hear that.
But if you do get one, might as well name it Dusty Slayer because you are slaying the dust.
Now, did you see where Elon Musk this week, I guess, he unveiled some robots that he's putting out? Did you see this?
The cars and stuff.
Well, more than the cars.
Yeah. Oh, our guy's eating now.
Yeah, Elon.
I support you, by the way.
I didn't
Elon-
say I was against it. It's different every time I look. There's some. I'm good.
That's
because
all
we're too
part
slow.
Of the show.
Yeah.
Dude. That's all part of
It's
the
a new
show.
activity every
something
time I look
going on.
over.
Yeah.
Where did you get pottery from?
We're
That's
doing the show
unbelievable.
while you're getting the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty sketchy here, especially
Yeah.
that he made them look like the
iRobot.
Star Wars.
No,
yeah.
iRobot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's Elon's on the right there, but
But it's the color of the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
well, that's true. That's true.
I could have. I immediately guessed where you were at with robot vacuums, but I would not know where you stand with Elon. I bet it's complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wants to put Neuralink in all our brains,
Mhm.
and
I'm for that.
and
Yeah.
connect us to the internet, and he makes some really unattractive trucks. I'm okay with them. I'm sure they're powerful and everything, but it just doesn't look like a truck.
No, it doesn't. It looks like a transformer in
But-
between transformation.
Yeah.
But Twitter or X is my favorite social media.
Yeah.
I like it. It's loose there. I like it.
Do you think
Yeah.
X is ever going to catch on?
Not for me.
No. I think Twitter is Sturgill, and that's what it's going to be called
Yeah.
forever. You just can't change it.
I like freedom of speech, and I like that it's loose. I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of it.
but I don't think anyone will ever call it X.
No.
Well, the fact you could still type in Twitter into the bar,
Yeah.
it would still come up.
Yeah.
Even he's like,
I also like, regardless of anybody's stance on Elon, I like the idea that a billionaire is like a little upset that we all call it Twitter still. Like, there's a part of me that kind of satisfies me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I like the bird too. You know,
Yeah.
the old icon.
the bird was great.
Yeah.
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 Anyway,
yeah.
follow me at Dustin Nickerson on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Wade
mostly
Allen.
about sports.
I went to high school with Wade Allen, I think.
What books are in the stack behind breakfast? Looks like a Seinfeld and John Chris book, but I cannot tell what the others are.
The two goats.
Oh, looks
Seinfeld
like we
and
got a
Chris.
Dustin Nickerson book back here.
Oh yeah, How to Be Married to Melissa.
Do I need to
That's my wife.
move, Tristan?
You know what? I have that book. Is
Yeah.
This Anything by Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
And I gotta say, no, it's not.
that was a Seinfeld joke. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is not. It is not anything.
Looks like we got a Angela Johnson book.
I wish
back
you'd have
there.
done it in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I got this book. I'll tell you, it is not. Bow, ba-dum, bow.
I mean, it's like a book of premises that if you read the book, you're like, well, I never can do any of these joke ideas.
That's my How to Be Married. I
That's your
contributed
copy
that.
of it?
Yep.
I
Mhm.
will tell you, if any of you guys are thinking about writing a book, and I know Nate's got one coming out, Leanne just had one.
Yep.
I know comments on your posts feel a certain way. Reviews on your book hurt.
Mm.
Because it took so long. It took years to write that. And mine is like a memoir. So bad reviews on your life hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone,
They're like, yeah, you're good writing, but terrible story.
there was 2-star life. Someone
Oh no.
there was one of the comments was like, this talks too much about their religion and faith. I was like, it's a memoir about our life and our story.
Yeah.
They're like, then that's all they had to do. 1 star over that. So, anyways,
You're like, at least you didn't have to live it.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Better than Seinfeld's, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, that's weak.
Our marriage is something.
My friend gave that book to me, but
Yeah.
I don't think he read it. He didn't read it.
I think I got that book for Christmas and I flipped through it, and
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I love Seinfeld, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Recently, I saw a survey that asked men what they would rather do instead of going to the doctor, and men said they would rather clean their entire house, file their taxes, and even get pulled over by a cop.
I'll go to the doctor.
But now, thanks to ZocDoc, I can now find and book in-person or telemedicine appointments for...
Sorry, that was an ad read.
Yeah,
I thought that was a comment.
I saw you flipping.
I was like, what is going on? Is Brian saying this? I'm so confused.
That's how good these segues are.
That was really good.
Thanks
yeah.
to ZocDoc, I can now find and book in-person or telemedicine appointments for medical or dental care. That's helpful for people that are on the go or work different hours like we do. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are highly rated by verified patients. You can also see their actual appointment openings. Choose a time that works for you and click to instantly book a visit. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. I use ZocDoc to find my doctors, and you should too. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Nate to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Nate, ZocDoc.com/Nate.
All right.
That's strong.
ZOC to the DOC.
You should have written that for them. That was much stronger. That's good. They can use that.
Yeah. Sunny Drury. Now we're back to the comments. The reason storms started getting named after people was from an Australian meteorologist in 1890. He didn't choose names based on a system. He simply named storms after politicians he disliked.
Okay, I like that guy.
Oh.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
That's like when you find out why Chicago's really called the Windy City.
Yeah.
You guys heard that?
No.
I have.
It's not that it's so windy. It's a shot at politicians for like being full of hot air or
Blowing a
whatever.
lot of hot air.
Just blowing a lot of
Yeah.
hot air.
Yeah.
Makes you like him more now.
I
huh?
do, yeah.
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 Whoa.
Hmm.
Careful.
Heather Hellickson.
Wow.
The pressure of being a good parent is complicated by money. How do you know if your child has a gift or talent, and how far do you extend yourself and finances? If I had to do it differently, I would not have exerted myself and finances so extremely. Boredom and frustration are essentials for creativity and confidence. Our society has created a false belief system that a parent should do everything possible for their children.
That sounds like an ad read. What you were setting up there. That was crazy.
I
thought-
got to agree
thought
with
that was-
Heather, though.
Yeah, I thought that was going to pitch a product at the end of that.
I know. Now, I think she is basing this off when you were here last time, Dustin.
Yeah.
You were talking about how you have to buy your kids
Mhm.
all this athletic stuff that's very expensive before they even know if they make the team.
Yeah. Well, you agree with Heather? What you're going to say there?
Yeah, I mean, when I grew up, I didn't have, I was pretty bored. I mean, I had a lot, I had things.
Yeah.
I was spoiled in a lot of ways, but also I got bored a lot. There was not a lot. I would go to my grandmother's house. My grandmother had nothing,
Yeah.
and there was no air conditioner. It was just hot, and I would draw pictures all the time.
Yeah.
And I ended up being very creative because I just had nothing to do. I think it's great what Heather's saying.
I think it is true to an extent. I do think as your kids get older, you will see the extreme value in them having things to do. Because like the old idle hands makes the devil's work thing, like that is especially true of teenagers. Like you do not want your teen to come home
Yeah.
at 2 with nothing to do.
Yeah, let's get them into some activities.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have all these travel leagues now. I see them at hotels where I'm staying at doing comedy.
Yeah.
They're like there, and they're all the parents are drunk out on the patio, and I'm like, you guys are. They're like, we're broke because we're taking our kids to do travel baseball
Yeah.
every week, and it's like they just seem exhausted.
It is, yeah. The travel sports are a totally different animal. I mean, we we've kind of done like hybrid ones. Like there's always rec leagues. There's always smaller versions of it. And then when you get into high school, the high school like is kind of they're not necessarily the highest level, but the high school, it's all built into the school, which is great. Cause then they like the sport happens right after school, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I certainly agree with the sentiment from Heather. It's like, it is a huge financial like investment sometimes. I tell about how did I say that last time I hear my dad like just told me to quit because I wasn't good enough.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like my sophomore year, I got hurt and I was supposed to play like American Legion ball, which is like a travel baseball team. It's very high level of baseball.
Yeah.
And I got hurt my sophomore year and my coach was like, hey man, like you can still be on the team, but you're not going to play very much.
Yeah.
And I took that as like a motivational scene. I was like, oh, I'm going to be like Rocky. I'm going to train.
Yeah,
I'm going to show him. And then I told my dad and he was like, I mean, this league's pretty expensive, Dustin. I don't know if I want to pay for you to ride the bench.
Yeah.
And then I went and got a job at the movie theater.
You know what? I like when you first said that about your dad, I was like, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But then when you said, you know what, this is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I like it then.
I do
Well,
too.
Because he wasn't like, you're not good enough. But
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want to pay for you to ride the bench here. You're hurt.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
hindsight, it was because now I look back, I was like, I was raised by a single dad who was working overtime at the airport in the union, he's just throwing bags onto planes. He did that for 35 years. And he's like, I don't know, man. Is this what's best? Is this?
And then you got a job. You started making some money. Probably started seeing a lot of movies.
Yeah, free movies.
Yeah.
Started bringing home free popcorn.
Expanding your artistic mind.
Yeah. So in hindsight, as a dad, like in the moment, I was like pretty disappointed. But now as a dad, I'm like, I get it. I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel for you, Heather. But also get your kids in activities. Don't.
Some activities,
Yeah.
but don't run yourself ragged out here.
I mean, I do see what she's saying. You're weighing your child's, they could be the next LeBron,
Yeah.
but they also could bankrupt us. And we got to decide,
Yeah. And well, you'll notice too because our kids are much older than your guys. It is like when they are in those activities, it's crazy.
I can't see a Hellickson being the next LeBron, though. I don't know what that last name is, but
What sport?
Yeah.
What sport do
exactly.
you see Hellickson thriving in?
Yeah.
Tennis, maybe.
Yeah.
Hellickson's a strong tennis
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So you never know. Maybe the next Pete Sampras. I don't know.
Yeah. Melissa Diaz. Excuse me. Dusty, don't be mean.
Okay.
Connie will come after you.
I know.
Connie
Melissa
Bates.
Melissa Diaz. Years ago, after moving to a new house, I introduced myself to my neighbor. The next time I saw her, she called me Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
The first time it happened, I politely corrected her, but she seemed preoccupied at the time, and I don't think she heard me. As time passed, the thought of correcting her again just felt too awkward. So for the next 4 years, I was Michelle.
I love that.
I think we've all been there to some degree.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, with a name like Dusty
mhm.
or Dustin, as you know, it's like, people never get it right.
I'm Justin to a few people.
Justin, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a guy call me Chris at a Lowe's that I used to, and I was like, I don't even care. I'm not in this Lowe's every day, not even every week.
Yeah.
I don't care that he's calling me Chris.
Yeah.
I started a new thing recently where when a barista or somebody asks me the name, I'll say Dusty because I do find it is a little, and I never go by Dusty, but it is a little easier to hear
Yeah.
than Dustin, and I like to feel what it feels like to be a Dusty.
That's interesting because when I say Dusty, they almost always write down Dustin.
Really?
It's like they're like, I don't know if he said Dusty, but I don't want to accidentally call him Dusty.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I always think.
When did you make the shift?
I've always been Dusty.
Yeah.
My name is technically Dustin.
Right.
But my parents called me Dusty. They even said they named me after characters that are Dusty.
Oh.
Like there was a Dusty on a soap opera. My dad says Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why did you name me Dustin then?
Did they think it wasn't allowed?
I think they got to the hospital and they're like, we don't really want to write it on the birth certificate. We'll just call him that.
James Brown.
Nice.
When making train noises for your kid, What is the right amount of chugga-chuggas before you choo-choo?
I think 2.
Yeah.
Chugga,
Oh,
chugga,
4.
No,
choo-choo.
chugga.
4, right?
Yeah.
Chugga, choo-choo.
I think it depends
I don't
on
know. This
how.
is a good question. I'm not doing any of this.
I think
but-
it's how far away the spoon is from the kid's mouth. You got to time it, right?
Mhm.
And chugga. Yeah, you're right. A 6 speed is too many. You guys are more in this world than me. I'm not saying any chuggas.
I don't even know if that's how I make the train sound.
How do you make the train?
I don't know. Maybe I just go choo-choo right away.
All aboard!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing all aboard.
Choo-choo.
Yeah. No, I think you got to do it. It's not. You got to throw a chugga in there.
I don't
Oh
know.
my God, this coal's ruining our.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've been doing any of that at my house.
No, just speaking
My
full
kids have
adult
been
sentences.
like ready to go with the spoons right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever pretend to be a train or
I don't think
hop
so.
on the train, get your hands and
Not
knees?
yet. No.
No. Okay. Well.
Sorry,
Maybe-
James.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Some questions can never be answered.
Yeah. Adam Reinking? We think Reinking?
Nice.
Maybe Rain King?
Maybe.
Like that would be holding the reins, right? Or is there a G in there?
It's a Counting Crow song.
Well, there
called
is a
Rain
G
King.
in rain.
Yeah. Okay.
Dusty's comments about leaf blowers being annoying were super interesting. I recently heard a whole podcast about leaf blower wars in Los Angeles. They've been fighting and making laws about the noise they make since the 70s. This year, California banned the sale of all gas leaf blowers. I just wanted him to know he's not alone.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. A leaf blower. It's like you're just trying to I'll be sitting in my house and I'm like, how long? I'll go, how long are they going to be cutting grass? And then I look out and it's just my neighbor leaf blowing. Like, what are you even blowing out there?
Some guy was doing it at a campsite.
Yeah.
Right?
Somebody tweeted at me that he uses a leaf blower. He was camping and he used this leaf blower. And I'm like, why even taking a leaf blower out camping?
Just to put it onto somebody else's site.
One guy said it's super helpful at starting a fire. And I'm like, you guys got to be better at starting fires.
Fire, huh?
Yeah, as someone who lives in California, I can tell you that they did not ban gas leaf blowers because of the noise.
Well, I mean, that sounds right.
The key word there is gas.
Is gas. I don't think California cares
They're
about
to
noise.
ban gas cars, so
Yeah, it's going to be.
Well, that's a perfect segue in today's
helps you out
topic.
there,
Yeah. No, I helped myself by putting that last.
Okay.
Dustin, I knew what I was doing.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Brian gets it.
Brian, you know what?
We don't need you here, Dustin.
Brian's
you're
the
right. You
best.
don't. You don't. Solo podcast. Brian Bates
runs the show. here.
BB1.
Yeah. I run a tight ship.
Yep.
Don't forget it. But no, we're talking about today. You grew up West Coast,
Mhm.
Seattle, lived your adult life in Southern California.
Lived my first 27 years in the Seattle region.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a city named Federal Way, Washington. And it's like 30, 40 minutes south. It's actually closer to Tacoma, which you've been to, I know,
Yeah.
because you had Tacoma
I've been.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. It neighbors it. And so South Puget Sound area is what it's called. And then, but then when Mel and I got married, she went to Seattle Pacific University and I went to University of Washington. And so we lived in Seattle proper and we lived on Nickerson Street right there in the Queen Anne
You
area.
lived on your
I
own.
lived
Your
on,
own
our
last name
first,
street?
our first house was 339 West Nickerson Street.
That's
Wow.
We have an annoyingly romantic, lovely story that people who like are single get frustrated by. I have to hide details of our
Seems
story.
like married people would be frustrated by.
Maybe. Yeah, I can see that too. Like there are details sometimes of our story that I'll leave out because
Mhm.
it's not that it's been perfect, but it is there's a lot of like, oh, really? Like sometimes people don't like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we grew up in the Seattle area and then 12, 13 years ago we moved to San Diego. So and then most of my family is from Oregon and a little Alaska. So we've got a lot of that West Coast down.
Got it covered.
Yeah, my sister was born in Alaska, which is awesome. That's so cool to say you were born in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's like, wow. I think more than any other state, if you said you were born in Alaska, people got follow-up questions. You don't hear that
Probably.
one very often,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe Hawaii, but yeah.
Yeah, those are probably the two. Yeah. So anyways, yes, very West Coast. Only lived on the West Coast for 40 years.
I've lived here all my life. Dusty, you grew up in Alabama.
I grew up in Alabama. I lived in Charleston, South Carolina for 10 years and
Yeah.
now Nashville for 10 years.
So all the South. So we thought it'd be, what should we call this? Cultural differences? Cultural wars?
Yeah.
I want to say wars.
Yeah, gang wars.
What'd you say?
East Coast. Cultural dust up. There you go.
Between Dustin and
Yeah,
Dusty.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I'll just set this one
A
out.
lot of dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast. That's not right because you guys are South. It's
I did live on the East Coast for a long time.
That's true.
10 years, Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
great.
right. Well, we'll figure the title out later. But
I like that we're spitballing though. Yeah, like Brian's like, I didn't like any of those. We'll figure this one.
those were all terrible, guys.
Yeah.
No.
How about we'll call it from sea to shining sea?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. No, that's something. I'm just spitballing here.
If
What's
what's
the first one Brian liked?
I like that would be the full, like the podcast would say from sea to shining sea.
Yeah.
And it would just be confusing, I think.
Yeah.
I like it.
Adrian, what'd you suggest we call it? We'll trade you something if you trade us something. Basically saying
The Louisiana Purchase?
if what's something in the South that you wish you had, and what's something on the West Coast that we wish we had.
Oh.
And I'll go first. I mean, the ocean, and I guess that's two, ocean and the mountains.
Yeah.
Pretty nice to be.
We have beautiful mountains here in the South, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The ocean.
And we have the ocean.
You guys hash this out because
just saying.
not. Yeah.
I live in Nashville. and
Okay, all right.
it's-
So Nashville. Yeah.
Okay. Anything
The majority of this big southern cities are not on the water, though. Right? Nashville, Atlanta. Like, you're not. I mean,
All right.
yeah.
I'll give you that.
I
I'll
think
give you
that's-
guys that.
You have coastal cities that people go to, like a Wilmington or something like that. You're like, these are our coastal cities, but
Myrtle Beach,
but
Charleston,
your
Panama
population
City
is not.
Beach.
But your main population is not based in beach cities.
Tampa,
Where in California they are, like San
Miami.
Francisco. Okay,
those aren't the South though.
yeah. Are we throwing Florida?
Miami?
I loved Miami. I got to tell you.
But that's not what I asked.
I mean, it
Because
is-
they're at the South.
But it's
Yeah.
in the South, though.
It's the most southern geographically, but nobody thinks of Miami as the South.
I think what what you're saying is when you think of the South, you don't necessarily think of the coastal cities. Like stereotypically, you think of more your Alabamas,
I think
You
about
know.
the SEC.
the SEC. How many of the SEC schools are on the water?
Probably not a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, some close,
This
Baton
is what
Rouge.
I'd like. I'd like the.
I like a defensiveness towards Brian out of the gate. I like this
I
already.
like the farming. That's what I mean, it's like you can grow everything.
We got farming here in the South.
But they can grow.
we don't have farming.
But they can
Charleston.
grow everything in California. That's
What can we not grow?
almonds.
How are your avocados out
Almond
here?
Brothers? They're from the South. Just because you don't like them, Dusty.
Avocados? I don't think you guys have great avocados out here.
Yeah, avocado. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to
The
say
citrus lacks. We have great oranges, great
we have-
lemons, great limes.
Florida?
Florida
maybe?
has a lot of.
Oh yeah, Florida. Of
I think
course.
what we're gonna find.
Florida's
is,
a wild card. Yeah.
I think what we're gonna find is there's actually a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great country that we live in.
Well, what's interesting though is so far, at least what we've said so far, is everything you've said has been the South versus California, which is kind of an argument for because now we're not even talking
Right.
about Oregon and Washington. You know, like
but doesn't Washington have the ocean and mountains?
Washington absolutely, but everything like the weather, the beach, the farming, that it does exist in Oregon and Washington as
Mhm.
well. Like the mountains, all of it is also just in the state of California because
Mhm.
it is a fairly remarkable state, at least just geographically and like the
It
stuff
is
that it
really
has to
good.
offer.
I say this. I took my sister and my niece to L.A.
Mhm.
Last year, and they're from Alabama. Never been to California. My sister said, and they loved it so much.
Yeah.
My sister said, if you told me that I would love LA this much, she said, I never would have believed it. She said, I never would have vacationed here. She said, but I love it. She found people there to be very nice. She lives in a small town in Alabama. She was like, they were nicer in LA than they are in my small town.
Mm.
That surprises me.
Yeah, me too. But I was like, in a way, I think the Southern hospitality is not what it used to be, or it's just like I find I really like California. I think it's very nice, and I have a fun time there.
Yeah.
Well, Dustin, what's something in the South that you wish?
I know this is like, maybe this isn't exactly where you're going for, but the first thing that jumps to mind is cost of living.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
absolutely.
of course.
It is some of the most expensive cities in America are Portland and Seattle and San Francisco and San Diego and LA. They're just very, very expensive. So that is the immediate, and it's the real draw to the, I think when you see how much the state of California takes from your
and no income tax here.
no income tax.
In Tennessee, at least.
Yeah.
Or Florida.
I do
I'm just agreeing with you now.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
agreeing with you.
I do as a sports fan, I do appreciate like the pageantry of college football out
Okay.
here a lot. I happen to go to a university that's very is a good college football school,
Yep.
but also we get a guy who goes to the national championship and then immediately leaves us for Alabama.
Uh-huh.
So that's
And
not.
then he lost to Vanderbilt. So-
I am as a college football fan right now, my rooting interest, because Washington is a rebuild, I'm just rooting against him and Oregon.
Well, it's working.
Yeah, because he almost lost to South Carolina too. I also, I think I have a unique relationship with the West Coast because and I've talked about this before, of my dad and my uncle, who were my primary caretakers growing up. They're from rural Oregon and like a city named Coos Bay, Oregon, which was very, for lack of a better term, rednecky. Like it was like we drove, my uncle lifted Chevy trucks, and we watched NASCAR on Sundays, and we listened to country music. So there is a familiarity to the South that I feel comfortable in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amongst other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a lot of my friends live in the South, like you guys and Aaron Weber and John. Like a lot of there is a compatibility that I have with people from the South. So
I love living in the South. I really do love it. But there's some food stuff. Like I know that the South is really like everybody talks about the food in the South, and it is good. But you go to California and like you can really find like good healthy food.
Yeah.
And just it's like everything. I don't know. I feel like it became like a stereotype to just everything be fried, and then it just became that. And fried food is delicious, but I'm dying out here.
It is hard not to go to the South and not gain like 8 pounds in a week. Everything is fried. There's a lot more like dessert at every meal than I'm used to, like lunch dessert. Like that took some getting used to.
Yeah.
And
No, that's interesting because where are you going? Because I mean,
mostly on tour with Nate.
Okay, well that's a little different. Because most restaurants I go to here, they'll ask you. They may ask you, "Do you want?"
There's a lot of pie around.
Okay,
a lot of pie in the South.
Banana pudding. If you go to a barbecue place, it's like banana pudding's delicious.
Yeah.
Peach cobbler, apple pie.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people in LA don't even in California don't even eat till after lunch. Like that's their first meal period, and it's certainly not coming with a banana pudding.
Yeah.
We're
eating biscuits, and they're delicious.
Yeah, they're so good.
Delicious. But I'm just saying it is nice to, when I'm in California or something like that, to go to a place and there be all these healthy options that are also tasty.
I also think that when I'm not like arguing on behalf of California because I'm not from there. It's not me. I live there, but I'm not from there. Whatever you want to eat in California, it is available.
Oh, yeah.
Like you may not have as good of barbecue there, but you'll find pretty good barbecue there. Like these are just big cities with a lot of, it's like when you're in New York or something, you're like, I'm going to find something, whatever type of food that I want, I'm going to find, which I probably is true in Nashville too. Like if you wanted some good Thai.
Nashville's great. And Charleston Charleston's such a great food.
I love Charleston.
I gained so much weight when I moved to Charleston. So much weight. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. This kid put on some weight.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should have used a Helix mattress.
Oh yeah, I could have used a Helix
What a
mattress.
segue.
You should have seen the mattress I had when I lived in Charleston.
Oh man.
But I'll tell you, I love my Helix mattress, and everyone knows I love my Helix pillows. That is true. They're the best pillows. A few weeks ago, we joked about what we would grab in a fire, and a fun item was my Helix pillow. Although I would also get another one if it didn't make it, and that is true. That's how good they are. It's just sleep. No. I just sleep so much better when I have my Helix mattress and pillow at home than I do anywhere else. I've had my mattress a couple of years now, and it's going strong. And I, it used to be I had bad mattress, I had bad apartment, bad pillows, and I would go on the road and I would stay in these hotels, and I would be like, oh, yeah. And I would love a hotel. I just would love a hotel. But now I have good mattresses, I have good Helix pillows and Helix mattress, and they're so comfortable. And I go on the road and I don't sleep good. I never get good sleep now, and I feel like all these hotel rooms have demons in them, and it's just a real nightmare out here. And and I just want my Helix mattress and pillow. And how do you know which mattress is best for you? Just take the Helix sleep quiz and find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. On top of that, it said stop. On top of that, Helix has over 12,000 5-star reviews.
Wow.
For the month of October, Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders. That is just for the month of October. Go to helixsleep.com/Nate. That is helixsleep.com/Nate. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
That's
and
really
that is
strong.
true. That is true.
Helix keeps the demons out.
They're great. That's right. They're great mattresses. The hotel I was just at did not have a Helix mattress, and I did not sleep good.
No.
And I think demons were trying to get me in that hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, what was going on?
I don't know. I felt like every time I was about to doze to sleep, I felt like something was trying to pull me to the other side. It was very scary. I had to wake up, turn on all the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only you had your Helix.
I know. Exactly.
Mattresses and Exorcisms by Helix. It's a good product.
Dustin, I heard you say on one of your episodes, the Southern mind can't comprehend In and Out.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. That's my own statement. Yeah. I don't think. Okay, I would love to hear your guys' take on it, and then I will speak to it. If you,
I heard your take on why you feel that way, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think people just like to. Well, there's two things that happen. Anything anyone has in their part of the country that someone else doesn't, they like to build it up.
sure. This is how people justify Whataburger,
Exactly.
which is not a good burger.
It's not. I'm anti-Whataburger.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been very public about it.
Yeah. I think.
But people who live, I've done it. You live in the place that has it. You never go there in your own hometown. But if you go on the road or move somewhere, and they have it, you tell everybody this is what's good.
This is what you do.
And on the opposite end, people like to push back. They just don't like it because they don't want you to think you're better than they are.
Yeah. Yes.
So they're like, In-N-Out burger. The point you were making was we're not talking about fine dining here.
Exactly.
We're talking about fast food.
Yeah.
And for fast food, it is good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This is the mistake I made. I didn't realize I just got the regular burger, and the patty was so thin that I actually doubled it up and then cut it in half and just ate half a burger. It was too thin, but I thought it was good. I liked the fries. I liked it. I don't eat fast food, but I liked it.
Well, that's the mistake of In-N-Out, and that people get it really hyped, and they think that they're going to have the best burger they've ever had.
Right.
And that's not what In-N-Out. In-N-Out is the best fast food option you can have. It tastes very good. It's very fresh, like very high quality ingredients for fast food. You eat it and you go, I believe this was a cow. And these are vegetables that I can recognize as their, sometimes at fast food, you're like, I think it was a tomato. I don't know that in its current form, it is still classified as a tomato, but that still is a tomato there. And California, SoCal's like all about vibes. And it is a vibe. The whole.
You also said Southerners don't get vibes.
They don't get. That's their thing out in SoCal is the vibes. That's just vibes, baby.
What does that mean? I don't think I get it.
I don't.
I can't explain it. You got to know what
you're putting down here.
Yeah, it's all about
Demons?
just the. No, those are bad vibes. It's about the energy. It's about the feel when you're in there.
I think it just depends on the spot. I think I can agree with you in a lot of small towns that I think this is just I think it used to be like small towns I really liked, right? You go to a small town, you go to a diner, and you're like, oh yeah, this is good, like home cooking type stuff. But now it feels like the Cisco truck goes to every diner and they just drop off frozen food. And no matter where you're at, you're just eating frozen food.
Yeah.
And it's just deep fried and nobody cares.
Yeah.
There's no soul in it anymore.
It just got there a day later than the other city.
Right.
Nobody cares anymore about anything. They don't even care about what they're eating. They're just so I don't know. It disappoints me so much all the time.
This is an argument for In-N-Out. It's fresh.
I like In-N-Out.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I'm not a fast food guy. I like Five Guys,
Yeah.
but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's fast food. It's pretty pricey.
Now, you said, again, I'm quoting your podcast, that In-N-Out is California's version of Buc-ee's. But I might argue it's Chick-fil-A or Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think that Chick-fil-A is everywhere now. Like everywhere.
They went downhill too.
Well, Chick-fil-A, I
Really?
think the argument for Chick-fil-A is the same argument for In-N-Out, is that you cannot like it, but it's expanding rapidly. So some people like it.
Sure.
It's a pretty popular. But I do think Buc-ee's, the reason I said Buc-ee's is like when you explain Buc-ee's to somebody, they go, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or if you go to In-N-Out for the first time, you go, I don't get it. It's just like a burger and the line was long. They're all wearing white. There's a Bible verse on the cup. I got mixed feelings about that, depending on who you are.
Right.
I support it.
I support it too, that's church in California. We don't have as many churches out there, but if you count the In-N-Outs, but obviously, I mean, they're in Dallas, they're in Vegas, they're in Phoenix. There's probably been an In-N-Out. They're coming east, baby.
I would go there.
They're coming to Nashville.
I think that,
They are.
probably, and it'll be busy.
I ate Whataburger, and I think it destroyed my insides, and I've never been the same.
I think we can all agree that Whataburger is just not good.
I've never been the same. And my wife recently had Whataburger. She's like, Dusty's got a weird stomach anyway.
Yeah.
And then it messed her up.
Yeah. I got a weird stomach too. Is that just aging?
I think it's just that American food is killing us all.
I thought it would be aging and that my stomach's just getting older, but you went a different route
No,
there.
I think your stomach just over the years is just exhausted from battling the poison that's in everything, and your stomach can't handle it anymore. My wife,
I thought I might be lactose intolerant.
my wife, the milk is bad. My wife's Canadian.
It's not you. Dustin.
Canada doesn't allow a lot of the same bad things in their food that we allow it.
Right.
And my wife for years has been, feeling great.
Yeah.
But it just lately,
Yeah.
she's like, I feel like it's starting to get me now. It's finally broken her down.
Yeah.
Just like I was just showing you the chips over there, the ingredients in chips. Why do we need all these oils in it? They don't even know what oil it is. They go vegetable oil. Could be soybean, could be palm, could be canola. We don't know what it is. We don't know what motor. We don't know where it came from. Oh,
Whoa.
geez.
Well, they're coming to get you,
You're
Dustin.
getting a little too close.
Drone strike.
But I'm just saying, there's an argument about out right now about Kellogg's. Actually, a lot of celebrities have gotten involved too. That Kellogg's is there's a bad ingredient that's a poison in their Fruit Loops that is not in the Canadian version. It's not in the UK version, but it's in our. It's like you don't have to.
Yeah.
You already know how to make the Fruit Loops without it.
It's freedom oil.
Yeah,
That's what it is,
but
baby.
they won't put
It's
it
liberty.
in there. Yeah,
It's the cost
and
of liberty.
so that I don't like anything. I almost don't like any restaurant now. But
Tammy's.
Tammy's, I feel like Tammy's in McMinnville is like one of the and I don't know what they're doing. They could be, the buns are still bad, but they're because
But I like it. The buns are bad.
but I feel like their meat's good, and I feel like I don't know.
Mm.
It's just I feel like they got good meat.
Yeah.
You know,
You mentioned church.
you ever looked at ingredients on buns? Don't even do it to yourself if you're
Yeah.
gonna eat a hamburger. Just go to the bread aisle and try to buy some bread. Go, this looks like healthy bread, and then pick it
Yeah.
up and flip it over and look at the ingredients. Like, why do you need all that in there?
And then when we were kids, they told us this is literally the foundation of your health.
Yeah,
The food pyramid. It starts with this bread.
yeah.
Still tastes delicious though. Bread still tastes pretty good.
Bread is, I mean,
Bread is a dessert as an adult.
There's no question.
I crave bread.
all the food is delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it all.
Whatever they're doing, keep doing it.
But, you know, try to take the poison out is all I'm saying.
If the poison makes it taste better, and I'm going to die anyways.
People
Because
say,
here's the thing. We are living longer than we used to. This is the big counter
I
argument.
don't know. I feel like we're starting to
No, I mean, statistically, we're
starting to
way
decline.
up.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on, you know, what you believe. But
On stats?
you
I
know,
mean, we've always
he's
been...
going to Old Testament.
No, I know. Yeah, but
there's
that's nothing to do. That's the flood's fault.
was
Was nothing to do with
there
the
was
food.
a Bill Gates video out there, and Bill Gates owns a lot of farms now. And in the background, Bill Gates had his own stack of books like that. And
Yeah.
one of the books was How to Lie with Statistics.
Okay, so
They're going to see how to
You're
be married to
saying-
Melissa.
right.
It's like,
How
whoa.
it seems that how to lie with statistics. I agree with you that the information, because whatever you want to be true is true, right? So that's the confirmation bias, right? I get that, and people will lie and stuff like that. But people are living longer than we can
But
see that in our own lives.
Are
that
we
you
healthier, though?
Yeah, but if we're fair, but to my point, if I am living longer and even though I'm being poisoned, but the food tastes better,
But
that's
would
a
you-
real cost
let's
benefit
see,
analysis I got to make
Would
here.
you trade
sold me.
a shorter life?
Right?
What if you could trade a shorter life for feeling good the whole time? Like, have you seen Jimmy Carter lately? I mean,
Right.
that guy, he's still alive.
Well, don't say his name, Brian. Don't kill him.
I mean, that guy's still alive.
I think I would take the longer life with my gut hurting more and more time with the people I love.
I don't know.
Your stomach's more important than your
I
wife.
just think
I don't understand I'm going to say
Take
his
a
name,
sh-
Jimmy Carter. What,
Oh no! Oh, not a precedent.
we've talked about Jimmy Carter multiple times
Okay.
on here.
Yeah.
But what are you saying?
have you just seen him lately?
He's
Yeah.
100,
I know that's what I'm saying. He lived a long time, but he's not looking good.
but he looked
But
really
Dick
good.
Van Dyke looks great, and he's very old too.
And Jimmy
He's
Carter
dancing and stuff.
was doing great up until just a few. He was still teaching Sunday school class in his
Yeah.
mid-90s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but to your point, he probably has lived a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I
He
just
only
think
got his food from Canada. He got it sent down.
I just think, like, I've read that. Now, I've not done it myself. I want to do it. But people say they go to Europe, they go to Italy, they eat the same way they eat here,
Mhm.
eat the same kinds of foods. All their stomach problems go away. They start to feel better. And then they come back here and
Yeah.
and then they
I do
don't
believe
come
I'm
that.
back.
not, and I'm not even arguing with that. I'm just saying it does taste really good,
Yeah,
Gluten.
yeah.
and people are living a long time.
They say a lot of people say it's not even the gluten; it's atrazine
Mm.
that's sprayed all over everything.
That sounds like a perfume
Yeah,
or it does sound like it is a chemical cleaning.
Yeah.
Can you get some atrazine on that?
I bet you got some on there.
Yeah.
If you've eaten today, it's seeping out of your pores.
Is it in the coffee? That's all I've had today.
You
Actually, they say they say
You wanted to
they
talk
say
about
there's so
shirt.
much
Yeah.
mold. I drink coffee all the time.
Yeah.
There's so much mold and pesticides in coffee because it's just unbelievable. You want to try to get organic,
Yeah.
mold-free coffee.
The one thing I'm very sure about that I drink that is very healthy and good and high quality is coffee.
I love coffee.
Yeah, I'm a big coffee guy.
mhm.
Love coffee.
Big coffee.
You
guy.
really only had coffee today?
No, I also had some fruit from 8th and Roast across the street. They
love
got a
that.
big old
Yeah.
fruit bowl thing.
It's a good coffee spot.
It is a good coffee
I
spot.
hate the idea that there's a Dunkin' Donuts coming over here, and somehow Dunkin' Donuts is going to affect their business.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate
it's
that.
unfortunate. America runs on Dunkin'.
Mhm.
But I've never gone to Dunkin' and wanted to run.
They have a good
You want to go take a
old-fashioned
nap?
No, America naps on Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that in me, and I'm like, let's go sleep.
That's funny.
they do have a good old-fashioned donut. in
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
It's hard to mess the old fashioned up.
Yeah,
it's
it's
good.
a good one.
Yeah.
I'm a Tim Hortons fan, though. You had Tim Hortons?
Then, yeah, Canada,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. The little donut holes, great.
They got the Timbits, is what they call them. They have sour cream glaze,
Yeah.
which sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I think Tim Hortons is also coming here.
I
think everything's just
toured
going everywhere.
I toured Canada with Chris 2 years ago, and you remember he had his like little "Short catchphrase,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He made just a Canada shirt in the Tim Hortons font, and it said like "Short A," like as Canadians say.
Yeah.
And it sold so poorly. We laughed.
no.
So we all had a bunch of free. I was handing them out to our kids after. Like, this did not sell well. This was a miscalculation, but merch is hard. And he's doing just fine.
Yeah, John's doing all right. What was I talking? Oh yeah, church.
Church.
So a little different out there. My wife grew up in California.
Right.
She's a Christian. She said church was definitely more laid back there.
Yeah.
People-
Vibes church.
Some people got baptized in the ocean, which sounds dangerous.
I love that.
No, baptized in the
fan of
ocean
that.
is great.
I love
I mean, Jesus baptized in a river. What's the difference?
Well, you could be like getting ready to do it, and then a big wave comes in, like, all right, I guess I'm baptized.
How often have you been to the beach?
Not a lot because I'm in the South.
When you go knee deep in the water, it's not. You're fine. Yeah, you can wade out. There's a lot of little kids out there wakeboarding.
There's sharks.
Yeah, not that close usually. Maybe.
Usually.
There is a formality to the South that I don't care for. Even looking at your guys' senior pictures, these ties and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do that. It's not like I don't know. It's very formal.
I feel like we're getting less formal, and I don't like it. I do enjoy format, especially in church.
Yeah.
I like that I never liked the whole non-denominational church thing where people are wearing, shorts and jeans.
Flip-flops.
And it's like, let's have a little respect. You know what I mean? You don't have to wear a tuxedo, but let's have some respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just never bought into that. I don't think God cares.
I don't know.
Feels like he's happy you're there. Wouldn't God want you to be comfortable? I think God wants you to be the most comfortable in church.
I don't think so.
Sweatpants church. Only pajamas church. I think that's what God would want. God doesn't care. God's like, oh, thank God.
I think God wants you to put a little effort into it.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Pajamas? You complain about pajamas at Walmart, but you're fine with church?
God loves you just the way you are.
He does, but he knows, he's like, oh, you're going to dress up to go to the club, but not to visit me, huh?
I think he knows if you made it there, that was hard. If you got up on a Sunday morning and you made it to church, period, I'm not saying unshowered sweatpants. Meet me in the middle. Showered sweatpants, tennis shoes, no sandals. No? What about the athletic ones? Like
Viore?
Viore sweat. Can you wear Viore to?
I think Viore's nice. That's a nice.
Yeah.
That's
Why don't you
nice.
tell us about it?
That's Viore's nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
San Diego company.
Let me tell you about our next sponsor, Viore. Okay, Viore is everything you need in clothing when it comes to working out or just lounging around.
We're going to church.
Or going to church.
Yeah.
But it is by far the most comfortable and best looking thing I wear. Viore is incredibly versatile and designed to look great in everyday life. I love to wear it when I'm traveling and recording this podcast. It is so comfortable, but also looks great. Everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it. In fact, I never work out. So it's not just for that. It's perfect for everyday wear. We just got some styles from the Dream Knit collection. I got the Ponto shorts and pants. They're just super soft, lightweight, and they have a relaxed fit. They're also made from 89% recycled materials. And I do like Viore a lot. I have Viore pants that I wear now at the airport. I've always been a jean guy at the airport. I don't like to substitute comfort over just looking like you care a little bit. But I feel like Viore,
What are you?
I get both comfort and care.
Yeah, I wear Viore. This is not even part of the ad. Every airport trip, those and my compression socks because I'm a grown up and I love a hoodie.
Yeah.
I love to put my hoodie on over and then just kind of be in my own little world. But jeans when you travel is a nightmare.
Well, Viore is an investment in your happiness.
Yeah, see?
For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at Viore.com/Nate. That's VUORI.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to Viore.com/Nate and discover the versatility of Viore clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
Listen,
Yes.
I get the idea that the respect thing, like put a little effort from God for church. I get that, but I'll take it a step further. I want people to wear sweats to my funeral. Just be comfortable, man. I just don't even feel it. Maybe this is a primary difference of this is a big difference between the South. There's people wear the football players wear suits to games still. They still doing that?
Yeah, I like that.
Who's that for? You guys don't even win championships much anymore. And you
what level are you talking about?
college. You're
Alabama.
NFL?
You're like 50-50
NFL,
anymore.
all wear suits.
No.
They don't.
No, they all dress like cool now. They wear like expensive. They wear a lot of sweats. They some of them do.
I
but-
want you to dress up at my funeral, and I want people to be sad and cry. I don't want it to be a celebration of life. I want you to be sad that I'm gone.
Yeah.
Do you hope you can watch your funeral like from above?
No, I just want people
Below?
to be sad. I want them to
Or below.
fast. No food. I don't want you to bring any food.
You want to
I
fast?
want everybody to fast.
It's
I want
poison.
people to be sad.
Yeah.
And get it out. I think that's good. You go to a funeral, you cry, you get out your sadness.
And then never think of you again? They just want to one and done?
I don't expect people to think about me for a long time. We all hope that
Yeah.
people will, but they won't. And so it's like,
I bet you don't want to be cremated.
I don't want to be
I knew.
cremated. No, absolutely not. But I don't know that I want you to be looking at me in the casket either, though.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, open casket. That's a. Whew.
Yeah. Just bury me.
Yeah. Just put you under.
And a cheap box. I don't even want a nice casket.
What do you want to wear?
Bury me in Viore.
Yeah.
Do you want to be? You want a nice outfit out of respect for
Well, if it's
your death?
if it's
All linen.
closed casket, go totally nude. No.
Yeah,
clothes.
don't recycle the clothes.
Yeah.
Give them to Viore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Some of these phrases. If you have any Southern phrases you don't understand, please let us know. I have some here for West Coast. That I
Great.
wanted to, well, the obvious. We call it interstate. You gotta say freeway.
Yeah. And we don't even refer to it as a freeway very often. We'll just say the freeway, the 5,
And
the
you
805,
put
the
the in
15.
front of it.
Well, that depends where you're at on the West Coast.
Okay.
And see, in Washington, you would say I-5. You would say the I-10, the I-8, I-35, I-90, that kind of stuff. In California, we shifted. We used to say pop up in Seattle too.
Mm-hmm.
So California is its own animal within
Okay.
it. And then we switched to getting used to you take the 5, the 15. But you would say interstate,
40.
which is just
Or I-40, I-65.
I
It is-
really like to say out the whole word.
yeah,
I
that's so
think that-
cumbersome.
A girl commented, I was asking somebody at work one time, I go, "What's your telephone number?" And she was like, "Why do you say all that stuff? Just say what's your number." I was like, I don't know why. I
Do you
said
like
that.
someone giving you directions?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that time has passed.
Yeah,
you ever
that
have
time-
someone still give you directions? And you're
Yeah,
like,
I do, and it's like, come on, you're telling me, and I'm not even listening.
they'll start with saying like go west, and I'm like, I'm out already.
Yeah,
I don't know which way is west.
yeah. I don't want to look for any of these things.
Yeah.
I have a phone.
I don't
If-
need to know where the sun is so I can see what
Yeah.
my first turn is.
I recently did a gig in the mountains, and they were like, "There's no phone signal out here," so I did take some directions.
Yeah.
but
When I was in Tacoma, actually, and had
Yeah.
to drive to Portland, my charging port stopped working
Mhm.
on my phone. And it was about to die, and I had to look up an Apple store and write down directions.
yeah, old school.
and drive to the Apple store in Tacoma.
Yeah.
And that Tacoma,
Thankfully, that's one freeway the whole way.
it's I-5, right?
I-5, yeah.
That
It's a pretty drive.
Tacoma Mall is I mean, I got there right when it opened, Sunday at 11.
Yeah.
Dead, as you might expect when it first opens. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this place is dead, like most malls. I go to that Apple store, packed. It's
Yeah.
11:03. It's already packed.
The
That's true
Tacoma
everywhere.
Mall has a Apple store. That's come a long way. When I was growing up, the Tacoma Mall had a gorilla. You can Google it. It's surreal. There was a gorilla at the
Real gorilla?
A real gorilla.
Wow.
This was in my life. It was like, it wasn't even that long ago. Yeah. Yep. There we go.
The true story of Tacoma's shopping mall gorilla. Not as rosy as Disney version. Oh boy. I may have to read this off air.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they've come a long way to go from
Tacoma's pretty wild.
Tacoma is one of the more wild cities I've ever been to, and I've been there a lot. My wife went to high school in Tacoma. She went to Stadium High School, which, if you've seen the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, is that
have
high
seen
school.
that.
It's very
He owns it.
Yeah. Nice. Congrats on that.
Yeah. I like that movie.
It was a good movie.
I
Early
just
Heath
wa-
Ledger.
I just watched it recently on a plane.
Yeah.
I probably never would have watched it, but I was on a plane. I was like, you know what? I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Larry Miller, right? The comedian, is the dad. It's great. It's very funny.
And the girl,
Julia Stiles.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
yeah,
For that era of movie, it's very fun.
really good.
Yeah.
I miss those kind of movies.
Okay, here's one I didn't know. Sig Alert.
Oh, that sounds like a kid thing. Like, is this come from
I
Sigma?
thought it was like about traffic.
Oh,
Like the
Sig Alert? No, I don't know Sig Alert.
What about Grom?
I don't know that one. I'm also 40, so I don't. There might be some.
Does your son surf?
Just speaking about the interstate, you remember "Make 'Em Say by Master P?
Yeah,
He
make it
said
say,
hit Interstate 10 rolling
Yeah.
to Texas.
No. Yeah, it's a good rap lyric.
But
Like,
then
it's a good lyric. In a
Also,
song.
there's a song "Riding Dirty on 85."
Yeah.
they don't say it. They just
Yeah, Interstate Highway love song, right? The Stone Temple Pilots song. That's
Oh, yeah.
better because it's not just like I-5 love song. That's not as good. Interstate is
Yeah.
a good word. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. Yeah.
We would say interstate. We would say
Yeah.
hit Interstate 85.
And if you were to do it comedically,
is.
you would
Yeah. It's
not a
say
freeway.
that. You're like, now we're broke down on the interstate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a funny word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
What about you've driven a lot in the South? You've driven in California, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drivers here too slow for you?
I don't like driving in LA at all, but other places I've drove around California, it's great.
Yeah, California, there is an aggression to the driving that, again, that's not California versus West Coast, because even when I go back to Seattle, I'm like, get moving. Because I've been like, 15 over is kind of like an opening bid, like on the freeways in
Yeah.
California. Like, that's, if you're going the speed limit, you're the slowest car there.
Yeah, I'm an aggressive driver, and so
Yeah.
I like driving in
I've heard that
aggressive
about you.
places. Yeah, I like driving in aggressive places.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I like Atlanta. I mean, I don't like traffic. That's the problem.
So
with
much
LA,
traffic. Yeah.
Is it's like there's no real driving. You get on the interstate in LA and you think, all right, I'm hitting the interstate, and then it's like standstill traffic.
Yeah. Listen to Nateland
Yeah,
for your 20-mile drive.
yeah.
Whole episode.
Now on the West Coast, if there's a funeral procession coming, do you
Mhm.
guys pull over?
Yeah.
Pull over, put their sweats on.
Yeah. I have not seen a lot in
I'm
my life.
A lot of funeral processions?
Yeah.
Maybe there's more people dying here, but
Well,
I'm still
back to the food.
I'm still amazed that is a thing that people do. I mean, I think it's great, but when I see cars pulled
Yeah.
over, I'm amazed.
I don't know that they do it like they used to, though.
Probably not, but I still see
Yeah.
it.
Used to be when I was a kid, it was like a real respect thing. Every
Yeah.
time you saw a hearse, and I mean, I don't even see those much anymore, but you would pull over, and
Yeah.
when there was not a lot of cars, it made you sad for the person.
Mhm.
There is a that
You know what I mean?
You get in
Yeah.
line just to
Yeah.
get through traffic.
There is that kind of speaks to like the general formality of the South, and that lacks on the West Coast. And in large part, it's because the West Coast culture is much newer. Like, we don't have as old of stuff. Like, I had a teacher in college say, like, you need to go to the South because American history is real in the South. Because, like, where we live, like, like you see like, I don't know, an outdated Mervyn's, and that's like American history.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
like
a grocery store?
Yeah, it's an old department store. Like we don't have old stuff. I mean, we have like missions and stuff, but it's like tied a little more into like Mexican culture. And in the Northwest, there's a lot of Native American culture. Like so, but as far as like the wars were fought out here,
Right.
and so there is a history, and there's also that formality and respect, like the yes sir, yes ma'am,
I love
which
that.
you can we would
I'm a big fan of that.
and where I live, you would just say, what would you like me to call you?
Yeah.
There are no assumptions of sirs and ma'ams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir and ma'am is such a nice, respectful thing. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I am a huge fan and use regularly y'all. Y'all is perfect.
Y'all's good.
Y'all, no, it's better than good. It is
the most good.
It is the most. Y'all is the best greeting of people there is. It's better than, because it's not to get political in any way, but it is gender neutral in the sense that it does cover the whole
way
group.
ahead of our time.
Yeah, we really were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it covers the whole group. It's not clunky. It's very smooth. Y'all's very elegant.
Mhm.
I think y'all is the South's best export. Like, and I'm for everybody adopting it. I write it. I type it. What do you say instead? Like, you guys, hey, everybody.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I say y'all. I just adopted it. I think I'm all for y'all.
At some point, I stopped saying y'all because I used to say it all the time and I was waiting tables.
Yeah.
And I just found myself saying it like a million times to one table.
Because you had to greet people so often.
So I started like trying to mix it up.
Yeah.
And then y'all just kind of disappeared.
Interesting.
I'm started bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah. It's just very smooth. It's very, I like it. It's, hey, everybody. How's everybody?
I like you guys.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
I don't like you
I
guys.
like you.
But yeah. I don't like you guys.
You guys should switch.
Sorry.
I
I did the Dusty.
I love the South and living in it, but I don't like in Gatlinburg and those areas, Pigeon Forge, where they play up where all the words on the signs are spelled wrong on purpose. They probably spell y'all YAW.
Yeah.
And there's always some. It plays to the stereotype that I don't like.
Which that's funny because I have a lot of things that I don't like about the West Coast, and this is not unique to the West Coast, but it because I think it's true of the Northeast. One of my least favorite things is a lot of their attitude towards the South.
Yeah.
Which is, just dumb simpletons, like that kind of like, and it's just where that term like coastal elite comes from. And I hate that just because it's so naive and it's very ignorant. It's very closed-minded. You're like, guys, I mean, you come down here and you're like, Vanderbilt's in the South, right? You got NASA in the South. There's some smart people. And also, it's just very, it's very dismissive. So I don't care for that. But it doesn't help when you do stuff like that.
There are dumb people everywhere.
Yeah.
There are so many dumb people. I mean, I live in San Diego. There are a lot of dumb-dumbs. It's just the amount of lifeguards that we have.
I love San Diego.
I love San Diego.
Big
It's my favorite. It's my favorite city. But there's so many dumb people.
San Diego reminds me a lot of Charleston, like a bigger version.
Yeah. I like Charleston. That makes sense of why I like Charleston so much.
They just remind me a lot of each other.
Yeah. San Diego's great. I really it was our kids you were in SD a couple weeks ago. My wife went to a show. She had a great time.
Oh yeah.
And thank you for the tickets for her and her friends. And you did a thing because we had like our big heat wave there.
Yeah.
And I know you did a story about, you're like, I'm not really feeling this.
Oh yeah, my Uber driver was like, "Yeah, we're in the middle of a heat wave right now." I'm like, "Well, I live in Tennessee. This is fine."
So my kids, for the last 3 years, we go to Alabama every summer because there's a camp that we serve at there, and that's what our kids were saying all week during the heat wave. They're like, "We've been to Alabama in July.
Oh yeah,
this is nothing."
Yeah, I used to go to my grandmother's house in July in Alabama, and she had no air conditioning.
Yeah.
Do you have air conditioning now?
So that's funny, Aaron. I think someone brought that up on the pod, right?
Yeah.
We did not for a long time. We didn't have heat or air conditioning because you didn't really need it.
Yeah.
And now we do have it, and it is nice. It's like couple weeks during the winter where it's nice because you wake up in the house in lower 60s. That's a cold house, and it does get, because San Diego is desert, like it's a desert on the ocean, so it gets legitimately, it's not freezing, but it'll be in the 30s at night. That's cold. 30s is cold. So yeah, we do have heat and AC now, but we don't run it that often. And we're renters because we live in California. So when we do run it, it's on the landlord.
Right. When I was in San Diego, I said this recently on the podcast, I thought San Diego, everyone told me sunny year round, perfect weather. And I was there in May. They're like, yeah, May gray.
May gray.
June gloom.
June gloom. I know. I like to think that I'm a good person, but I know I got some bad in me because I like seeing unhappy tourists in May and June. There's a little part of me that's like, yeah.
I saw that twinkle in your eye when I told you that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not saying this in a way that I'm proud. But
is there any stereotype about the South that you want to ask us? Because I got one for you for Pacific Northwest.
Well, what is the general Southern reputation towards the West Coast? Like, and I know that that's brag because, like, I remember, Aaron Weber. I was with Aaron Weber the first time he went to California. And he was like, hey, we were always just told growing up, California, the land of fruits and nuts, like, and I don't know if that's got lots of meaning to it, right? And I didn't say who said that to him. He didn't, those weren't his words. And so is there like, sometimes I feel like when people from the South are thinking of California, it's almost like they think of us like as aliens, like as like a totally different group of people than them. But I don't know. What is the general?
Well, most people that I know just think kind of what you have just said, that they're just judgmental and they think everyone from the South is stupid. And
yeah,
that's funny because then we're doing it right back at you.
Well, it's like like I said, though, my sister went there and loved it.
Yeah.
And we're talking LA. We're not talking.
No, that's the belly of the beast.
I've been to many rural parts of California, which are no different than any other place in the country.
Then I always like to point out, and country folk will survive. He mentions California in that.
Yeah, like from North California.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I've not even been that far in North California. I've been like to Modesto, and
Bakersfield.
Merle Haggard is from California. That's
exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Famous
that I could see.
Yeah.
But
sorry, he was so good. What, do you win 4 championships in a row?
No, I'm saying that we just talked about last week. He was the pretty boy. He wasn't the real, guys hated him. Everyone hated him because
he won. Yeah. They wouldn't have cared so much if he was 13th well,
that's true.
Yeah. And he was on Hendrix, so anyways.
But I think that's the thing that people say the most. And I do think it's true to an extent, but when I go to LA and it's like everybody's so nice to me. I don't have any problems. I never have problems talking to people.
Right.
Even in New York City, for that matter. I know we're not talking about New York City, but like I go to New York and I'm Southern and I talk to people and I don't have any problems.
Yeah.
Nobody is like, oh, who's this hillbilly?
Right.
Everything's fine.
Right.
Probably helped for your sister that she probably had low standards, expectations for LA.
Yes.
So it exceeded them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. It is unfortunate that a lot of the South think poorly of the cities and the West Coast, but it is in some ways earned by a lot of coastal elites who genuinely, and I'm here to tell you, as people who interact with it, genuinely do think that they are better people than people of the South. But I do think that people in the South have that too. I don't think that's a regional thing. That's that's a person thing. That my way of life is superior to your way of life.
Yep.
I found very few comedians who still think that way though, because like I heard Foxworthy say about this in an interview. It's like, I've done it all. And it's like, people are the same.
Yeah.
They really, and I feel that same way too. Like, it's just, I've been to every state, most cities in America at this point. People are the same.
Especially when you drive. I've drove so many places where you actually, on the way to cities, you drive through small towns.
Yep.
And it's like, you meet people and it's like, it really is. The accents change.
Yeah.
The names of the grocery stores change.
Yeah.
But it's the same.
But they're all serving you poison bread regardless.
Exactly. 100%. But in California, you can actually, it feels like you can find local brand. I found a local brand. I don't remember what it was, but a local brand of wraps But I was only in California for like 4 or 5 days. And before I left, they were already moldy. And I'm like, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for food that goes
food
bad.
that turns. Yeah. Well, you growing up in the trailer, and I grew up lower poverty. We weren't in the trailers, but like we didn't have a lot of fresh food. Period. You have a lot of preserved food.
Yeah.
And so you've been eating that your whole life too.
Oh yeah, but even back then though, our bread would get moldy. Like my bread almost never gets moldy now. Like I remember me and my mom would like pick the mold off the bread and just eat.
That's
we'd
good
get
old
rid of the
fashioned
mold.
poverty right there. Yeah.
But it was like it would go bad.
It would go bad. Gosh, that's interesting. Remember when bread would go bad?
And it never goes bad now.
I never thought about it, but you're right. It does seem like it lasts a lot longer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you I don't even know if this is a stereotype of Pacific Northwest, but have you ever met anyone who's seen a Bigfoot?
My grandpa claimed to.
All right. It's not a stereotype. It's real. Thank you, Grandpa.
Yeah, no, my grandpa, who just passed last year, he went to his grave swearing that I think it was on a fishing trip because he was an avid fisherman. He lived in Crescent City, California, which is the very northern tip of California.
Okay.
Like you leave the redwoods and you're on the 101 and it's pretty much Oregon, like what it's like up there. And he would lead like fishing trips and he would fish on the ocean. He was a crab. He was a great guy. He was a PE teacher for a long time. And like Return of the Jedi was filmed in the redwoods there.
Uh-huh.
And he took like a fishing expedition with Harrison Ford.
Wow.
He's awesome. My grandpa ruled. Great guy. But he went to his grave swearing I think the story was he came out of his tent one day and just saw some huge, crazy creature like scale up a wall with arms that a human never could. And he was like, yeah, no, I saw Sasquatch in the woods.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
So
believe it.
he didn't, I knew my grandpa pretty well. It didn't seem like a liar.
I believe it.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
I want it to be true.
I do too.
Yeah. I want most of the mythical creatures to be real.
It'd be more fun if they were.
It would be. Yeah. The giant squid versus sperm whale wars. I want that one to be true. I want them to
Who knows what's going on in the depths of the
literally.
ocean?
Yeah. Nothing. No, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we need to wrap this up. We got a show here in 53 minutes.
This has been great. I've enjoyed doing this.
So,
This is the most we've ever talked.
I know. We had cigars one time. And
that's right, with Alec. Yeah. Dusty and I, do we have one last story?
Sure.
Dusty, John, and I were all in Phoenix in the same weekend. And we were like texting about meeting up. And Dusty was the first to articulate it. And then we all agreed. Dusty's like, I think I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see you guys, but it's like a lot to try to meet up.
Yeah, you're like, I think I just want to watch football and stay in my hotel.
Yeah.
It is funny how if you happen to be in the same town, you just feel like, oh, well, we should meet. But then you're like, no.
But then you wake up on Saturday and you're like,
But me and you and Willie Simon and Alec Parent had
That's
cigars in Brea.
In Brea.
Yeah.
Fine American city.
Yeah. A couple of nights in a row we did.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That was a nice time.
And then I got COVID right after that for the
Oh.
first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think of one more thing. Electric vehicles are just becoming the thing in California.
I think California made that they were not going to sell them after a certain year.
I think it's still like 2030 or 2035.
It's a ways out, which I don't mind an electric car.
Yeah.
What do I don't know.
Yeah.
Electricity seems good. I'm not
into it.
Yeah. What do you not like about them?
I don't know. I just don't like.
You keep trying to end. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I
bet you don't like that they're telling you have to.
Well, to get electricity, you still have to like burn coal, right? So it's like we're not really accomplishing.
I don't know how electricity works, so
I don't think we're really accomplishing the thing we hope
Yeah.
to accomplish.
Is that true? Do you have to burn coal to get electricity?
I think so.
I think it's a lot better for the enviorment to do electric cars.
Is that true
Well,
that you have to burn coal? Does anybody know?
Except for the batteries, they say that you have to order to get the batteries, you actually ruin large chunks of land mining those lithium.
Yeah. I don't believe you or not believe you.
Turbine generator. Type of turbine used depends on the energy source. Yeah, this is
There might be some research to do.
You tried to end this. You can just cut that all off. I was so interested.
fossil fuels. I'm still going. Nuclear, renewable, wind. All right.
Brian, why did you look so old senior year?
And why did Aaron look so young? That's what I want to. To me, Aaron's picture seems elementary.
Yeah. It seems way too young, and you seem too old.
Probably for the same reason. Aaron's was airbrushed because by then they could do things like that.
Oh, yeah. You look like the lead actor in Night Court.
I was
Remember
up to
that
some
movie?
stuff. Yeah,
Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
Harry Anderson. You look like Harry Anderson.
I was into some things.
Yeah.
You know, at that time,
that is Harry Anderson.
It took me a long time to get it together.
Yeah, I'm
And
talking
that's
about Brian. I don't know. You were the hardest to identify in any picture.
Yeah.
Because you've had a lot of looks over the year.
Yeah.
But you found you.
Yeah.
I do remember that character. He does look like that.
at
guy.
that
Yeah,
age,
you see that picture right
Yeah.
there? That's crazy.
Yeah.
when I still had a full head of hair, yeah, people would say I look like Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
Over time, that
But you look like 40-year-old Harry Anderson.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We could have wrapped that up a long time ago.
Sorry.
This week, this Thursday, I'm at Arlington Draft House in Arlington, Virginia. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Saturday, I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee at this new comedy club, Joker's Comedy House.
All right,
Headlining-
DJ Pryor.
That's right. Next Tuesday is my next Brian Bates and Friends here at the Lab at Zany's, Tuesday, October 22nd. Last month, we had Nate running his SNL monologue. We had Angela Johnson doing new jokes for her upcoming special. You never know who you're going to see here. We got
You never
another
know.
great lineup. So come to that Tuesday,
never
October.
know.
Great. Yeah.
October 25th, I'm at Lifeway Church in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. This is the Dustin Nickerson 5 year ago tour. All great shows. So come check me out.
This coming weekend, I am in Louisville Comedy Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Doing 5 shows there, I think, the club
All
weekend.
right.
And then the following weekend, I'm at Wise Guys downtown Salt Lake.
I was just at Louisville Comedy Club
Yeah, it's a good club.
with Abe Bauer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm there and then Salt Lake, and that's my birthday weekend. Come turn 40 with me.
All right.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
thank you.
Well, I'm off this weekend, but Monday I'll be at the Ryman. I've already talked about it. I'll be
Yeah.
at the Ryman, a benefit for to raise money for hurricane victims, and it'll be Leanne Morgan, John Chris, Charlie Barons, and me. Going to be a great
It's a hot
lineup.
show.
And then next weekend I'm going to be doing my Tennessee run. I'll be in Memphis and in Knoxville. So
That's bad routing.
it is tougher routing than
Yeah, that's
I
not
think
good.
most people would know. And there's no direct flight from Nashville to Memphis, no direct flight from Memphis to Knoxville. It's it's a rough run.
You picked a good Saturday, though, because Tennessee's off that Saturday.
It is. So come out. It's a big theater. It's probably in Knoxville, it's probably the biggest theater I've ever done. So come buy some tickets.
Congrats.
I
It's great.
filmed a special in Knoxville. This is not probably the only comedy special ever on Netflix to be filmed in Knoxville. So
I think Henry chose, well, it wasn't Netflix, though.
Where'd Leanne film hers?
Lexington.
Oh, okay.
Lexington Opera House.
so come out. I'm putting Knoxville on the map out here.
Yeah, Henry Cho did one.
Yeah. What has Leanne
for
done to
Comedy
help
Central.
Knoxville?
Come on. You know what I mean? Come on.
I think, I say it every week, I think Aaron's going to be back next week. I hope so. I'd love to
I
hear.
think he avoided me. I don't think he wanted to share his return with me, and that's fine.
Yeah. And
Aaron
Nate,
and I have had bad blood for a long time.
Nate certainly avoided you.
Yes. I think Nate's avoiding the Nateland podcast.
Yeah. No, he's in there in the other room right now. He's just waiting for you to leave.
He's been texting Nate the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think that's it. Dustin, great to see you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
Great
for
to
having
see
me.
ya.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Super
All right.
fun. Thanks, guys.
We're having a good time.
Bye.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.